Ayo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Ace. This is Fantasized Football. We are back once again, bringing y'all some more fantasy football content for the 2021 fantasy football season. And guess what time it is? It's fucking Friday. I love Fridays. You know why I love Fridays? Because I get to do mock drafts on Fridays. I love doing mock drafts. But yeah, before we get into the specifics on the mock, I did want to quickly shout out to each and every one of y'all that come by on a weekly basis, help the channel grow. You guys are just the best, the absolute best. I love you all so very much. I can never, ever put into words how much each and every one of you mean to me. And if you're new, thank you for coming by. I hope you do enjoy today's video. If you do, make sure to drop a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. Help me, help my boy, help us reach our new goal of 300 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the fantasy football season. But yes, we are here on Fantasy Pros Draft Simulator doing a 12-team half PPR mock from the 10 spot. I don't know why I picked the 10th spot, but I did. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a flex, and 8 bench spots. We just got an email, but fuck that. We don't care. So let's go ahead and just kick off the draft. I am ready to go, baby. Let's do this here. Our draft is loading. Let's have a little sip. Make sure that we are hydrated, and let's pull up our roster, and let's pull up the draft board and see what happened. Woof. Dalvin at the 101. Okay. Dalvin Cook, McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Zeke, Derrick Henry, Saquon, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Austin Eckler. Fuck, man. Shit. Oh, yuck. A lot of guys I like. Aaron Jones, Eckler, guys that I would usually be taking right here. All right, let's pull up the cheat sheet. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. See, ooh, we like that. Ooh, that means the Yu Yu Hakusho shirt's coming in. We love to see it. So, we have available to us here Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor, Mixon, Gibson, Tyreek Hill, Diggs, Kelsey, Mahomes, all them, but we're not looking at quarterback here. Oh, man. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, this is probably like normally where I would be on Jonathan Taylor, but now with the news about Carson Wentz, I'm just a little scared. How involved was he going to be in the receiving game? There's an injury to one of the offensive linemen. I believe it's Ryan Kelly or something. He got hurt, so that is not good news either. And then with Wentz, there's just so many question marks. It is a little bit scary here, but this is normally where I'd be looking at Taylor, like the back half of the first round. I could go with Kelsey here. But if I don't take Taylor, you know what? Fuck it. Let's risk it for the biscuit. Let's take Jonathan Taylor. The upside's there. This is where I would take on. I've never taken him in a mock draft up to this point in the season. So we start off our draft with Jonathan Taylor. There's a lot of upside. I got to justify it to myself now. He's going to be heavily involved. Going to be the lead back. He came off the end of the season like an absolute monster. So this team, what we're going to do is we're going to be shooting for the moon. This, you know what? We just decided it right here. We're shooting for the moon with this team. We are going for upside. We're going for upside. If our team hits, we win our league. If our team doesn't hit, then we fucking come in last place. But if you're not first, you're last, right? Like Ricky Bobby says. So let's go ahead and pull up the cheat sheet. So we got Waller, Kittle, not looking at them this early. Diggs, Ridley, Hopkins, Mixon, Najee, Clyde, all available to us here. And going with what I just said, if we're going for upside, if we're going for like a roster full of league winners, and if you're not first, you're last type of approach, we haven't done something like this yet. Well, maybe we have. I don't know. I've done so many goddamn mock drafts. But if we're going for the moon, right, I'm going for Joe Mixon here, right? Because if this offensive is good, and Joe Mixon handles the majority of the third down work, and he is the pass-catching running back on this team, and he is the bell cow, then he could be an absolute stud. Starting with Jonathan Taylor and Joe Mixon, albeit a little bit scary, it is a very potentially strong start for us there, giving Joe Mixon one more chance. So after we go with Mixon, we see Hopkins, Diggs, Ridley, Metcalf, Waller. Wow, 208 for Waller. That is early. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Najee, Josh Allen at the 202, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Patrick Mahomes. What is this like? What the fuck is going on here? Josh Allen, Mahomes, Kyler. What? The third round starts with Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Mahomes, Swift, McLaurin, Clyde, Kyler, Kittle, Chris Carson. A lot of quarterbacks going early here. I mean, you may see this in some of your leagues. If you've been following the ADP versus ranking series, maybe they've been listening to me, fantasy pros, and they're trying to piss me off. But this is just ridiculous for these guys this early. For Josh Allen, usually that would be Mahomes at the 212, Allen at the 303, but that is just insane. But this is a round where they're being drafted in ADP, apparently. I mean, I've been watching the ADP from that series, so I'm good, though. I'm all set. So we are in half PPR. We have Taylor and we have Mixon here. So we have another pick coming up. We got CeeDee Lamb, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Robert Woods, Godwin, all available at wide receiver to us. Cooper Kupp's there too. So you know what? I think I'm going to lock in a third running back here. Hawkinson, Mark Andrews, not looking at that, not looking at quarterback this early. So I think what I'm actually going to do here is get a third running back. And to me, it's between Dobbins and David Montgomery. And I've been hearing so much about David Montgomery here. I've been hearing so very much here about David Montgomery. I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go with my... Actually, you know what? Upside. Building for upside. We're building for upside here. We're going for upside, right? We're going for upside. So let's take David Montgomery. We saw what his upside is. It's a top 5 running back. So if he is that, again, we have Taylor, Mixon, Montgomery. We start with 3 absolute studs at running back if everything hits for them. So after we go with Montgomery, we see CeeDee Lamb and Godwin, and the 4 starts with Dobbins and Amari Cooper, and now it is back on us. And, you know, I'm just going strictly for upside here. Mike Evans is probably the play. But I think there's a guy I like a little more that still has a lot of upside if he can hit, if he can stay healthy, if this offense is as good as I expect it to be, and that is Julio Jones of the Tennessee Titans. Don't forget who the fuck Julio Jones is. He's an absolute stud. He did have some health issues, missed some games last season, but from the majority of his career, he's been able to at least be healthy for the most part. Touchdowns have been a concern, but now with Tannehill in this offense, this could be a 10-touchdown season for Julio, and if that happens and he gets 80 catches for 1,300 yards, getting him in the 4th round, you're absolutely stealing him, and we have so much upside on this team to start. So I like that with Julio here. So after we go with Julio, we see Robert Woods, Darrell Henderson, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Cooper Kupp, Deontay, Etienne, Miles Sanders, and Mike Davis. And then the 5th starts with Galladay, Thielen, Ayuk, Gaskin, Lockett, Jacobs, Chase Edmonds, and then Lamar there at the 508 and Odell at the 509, and now it's back on us. So we have our 2 starting running backs and our flex locked up. We have great running back depth, I would actually say, with Taylor, Mixon, and Julio. Taylor, Mixon, and Montgomery, and then Julio as our wide receiver 1. So we have a decision to make here. Go with another wide receiver, or we could get a tight end, or we could even look at quarterback here, but I'm not going to be looking at quarterback, I don't think, or running back. Hawkinson would a lot of the time just be my auto pick here, but like I mentioned, we're going for upside here. So I'm going to shoot for the fucking moon. And I'm going to take Jamar Chase of the Cincinnati. Oh, actually, am I? Because I have Mixon. Sometimes I'm okay with that, but like on an offense that I'm kind of questionable about, going with 2 players from the same team, not really feeling it. Instead, we will go with another one of my boys. We will go with Courtland Sutton, who I actually have ranked above him, that I also think has a lot of upside there. That is Courtland Sutton of the Denver Broncos. He's coming off the ACL tear, but he was an absolute stud in 2019. I think he will be the alpha still on this team. Worst case scenario, I see it as a 1A, 1B with him and Judy. Getting him in the 5th round as my wide receiver 2, I see a lot of upside there. So now it is back on us to make our next pick, and I already know what I'm doing. But let's take a quick look at what happened after we went with Sutton. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase go back-to-back. Kareem Hunt starts the 6th, and Mark Andrews at the 602. Now, like I mentioned, usually I'm just fucking smash picking TJ Hawkinson in the 6th round. But again, the way we're building this team, right, is to shoot for the moon. That, like, if our team hits, we win the championship. If Jonathan Taylor hits, if Joe Mixon hits, if Julio stays healthy, if Courtland Sutton is the 1A, if David Montgomery is getting 20 touches a game, we win our league because we have a bunch of guys that have week to week absolute explosive upside. So instead of going with Hawkinson, we're going to take Kyle Pitts because there's another guy that if he hits, and he is what a lot of people seem to think he is at least, and he could be like the best rookie fantasy football tight end of like all fucking time in this situation, then he is going to be a league winner here in the 6th round. This is probably where I draft him. I would take Hawkinson over him, but Kyle Pitts, Julio gone. He should be the 2 in this offense that should be throwing the ball a shit ton. He's super talented. He's a wide receiver playing the tight end position, essentially. So here, starting off, Taylor, Mixon, Julio, Montgomery, Sutton, Pitts. If we're looking for upside, we found love in a hopeless fucking place, baby. So after we go with Pitts, Hawkinson comes off right after. Melvin Gordon, Chase Claypool, Dak, Damien Harris. Whoa, that's super early for Damien Harris. Russell Wilson, Juju, Aaron Rodgers, Debo, and the 7th starts with Chark, Judy, Cooks, Michael Thomas at the 704. I don't hate that. Herbert, Robbie Anderson, David Johnson, Devontae Smith, and Matt Stafford comes off right before us. So now it's back on us. Now, all right. So we saw a bit of a run on quarterback here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and grab a quarterback. Hurts is a guy that I like, but now with the news of Deshaun Watson, I'm going to kind of fade that. And, I mean, all the quarterbacks here, it's like upside-wise, it's like Hurts is the big, upside league winner pick. But instead, I'm going to go with Tannehill, who does have a lot of upside, but he isn't like super busty. We're going to get a safe piece here with Tannehill and pair him up with Julio Jones, right? Tannehill's been super efficient since he's been the starter in Tennessee. He's been an absolute beast for fantasy football. So getting him here, locking in our quarterback, our starting lineup is all set up. We have Tannehill, Taylor, Mixon, Julio, Sutton, Pitts, and Montgomery. And now it's time to fill in our bench with even more upside. So after Tannehill, good thing we went with him here. He wouldn't have made it back to us. Brady, Hurts. 8th starts with Javonte and Zach Moss. I would have really loved Javonte in this build here. So we're either going to be looking at, we don't have to look at tight end or quarterback right here. So we're either going to be looking at wide receiver or running back, right? So for running back, nothing that really excites me. Mostert, Robinson, Michael Carter, Ronald Jones, Trey Sermon, blah, 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 blah. But at wide receiver, there is one player that sticks out to me like a sore thumb with the build we're trying to go for. Like I said, I know I'm hammering it into your heads. I've said it too much. I'm just going to shut the fuck up because you guys know what we're doing. We're going for upside, so it's easy. It's Will Fuller. Suspended for the first game, coming off that suspension where he was on the PEDs, whatever. How much of that affected his performance, we don't know. But Will Fuller has always, we saw it last season, what his upside is. If he's healthy, he's going to be an absolute fucking monster. And he comes into a situation where he could be the number 1 option on the team with just himself, Devontae Parker, and rookie Jalen Waddle. So Will Fuller here, grabbing him as our wide receiver 3. I do not hate it. Let's take a look at the draft board. We have Singletary, Raheem Mostert, Antonio Brown, Tyler Boyd, James Robinson, Laviska, Michael Carter, Curtis Samuel, and Mike Williams rounding out the 8th. The 9th starts with Corey Davis, Trey Sermon, Darnell Mooney, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, Jarvis Landry, James Conner, Kenyon Drake, and James White. Yuck. That is way too early for James White. But unfortunately, a lot of the running backs I would be targeting here came off the board. Trey Sermon, James Conner, even Kenyon Drake, Fournette, and Jones, especially with how we're building our team. Shit, I said I wasn't going to say it anymore. So yeah, man, we got A.J. Dillon, Gus Edwards there at running back. 2 guys that, I'm not super excited about. You got Gallup, Devontae Parker, Marquise Brown, Marvin Jones, Michael Pittman. But thankfully, we started off with 3 strong running backs with Taylor, Mixon, and Montgomery. So we're already strong there. We don't necessarily need to draft one right this second. We can wait until our next pick and just grab a wide receiver here. So we're not going to take Parker or Waddle because we have Will Fuller. So for me here, it's between Michael Gallup and Marvin Jones. And with what's going on with Amari Cooper, depending on what's happening, like if he's going to miss games, I kind of like Michael Gallup a little better. Well, Marquise Brown also, but there's just No, not for me. Where are we? The ninth round? Ninth, 909? He's not going to make it back to me. I like the upside of Marvin Jones a little more than Gallup, I think, right? Because we know Gallup's not going to be the number one, right? Gallup's not going to be the number one. But Marvin Jones could be the number one in this offense. He's the only guy that this coaching staff specifically brought in, right? Laviska got drafted last season. DJ Chark, Urban Meyer's already been kind of talking shit. So Marvin Jones very well could be the number one. He's a guy that is very boomer busty, kind of Tyler Lockett-esque. But if he could change that this season, and he could be the alpha on his offense. He's a little older, but if he is the number one, it's worth taking a shot here. So now it is back on us. After we pick Marvin Jones, we see Michael Gallup and Gus Edwards, and then the 10th starts with Pollard and Jamal Williams, and now it's back on us. So we're going to go for upside at running back here. We're looking at Nyheim Hines, Dillon, Latavius Murray, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Between A.J. Dillon and actually Latavius Murray here. Because Latavius Murray, they're talking about being like a run heavy team. And Kamara isn't a guy that handles 250 touches normally. And if Kamara gets hurt, then Latavius Murray is a stud. Same goes for A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. But there's more like certainty of what the Packers will be than there is with the Saints, where you know that they're going to throw the ball close to 600 times because they have Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Jones is going to be like probably somewhere between 210 to 240 carries. So is A.J. Dillon going to be 100 carries or 150 carries? Aaron Jones averaged 15 games played over the past 2 seasons. There's more upside with Dillon. There really is. The touchdown upside's there. The week-to-week flex upside's there. There is with Latavius too. But you know what? We're going to take A.J. Dillon to be our RB4 here because of the touchdown upside. And if anything happens to Aaron Jones, he should be like a damn near bell cow in a very, very good, efficient offense. Whereas Latavius Murray, there's more question marks about that offense. So let's see. Scroll down a bit here. So after we go with A.J. Dillon, we see Devontae Parker, Latavius Murray, Cole Beasley, Dallas Goedert, Marquise Brown, Elijah Moore, Bateman, Michael Pittman, Tevin Coleman. 11 starts with Higbee, Tunyon, Noah Fant, Paris Campbell, Nyheim Hines, Philip Lindsay, Nelson Aguilar, Jalen Waddle, and Tariq Cohen. And now it is back on us. So let's pull up our cheat sheet. And it's between wide receiver and running back here. I mean, or actually, you know what? Yeah, I think he'll make it back to me, actually. Yeah, so what are we going to do? Do we want to take another running back, or are we cool with what we got here? I think I'm cool with what I got here. Maybe I'll take like a handcuff later. I don't even know who the handcuff is for Joe Mixon, really. Well, yeah, all right, yeah, okay. So I'm going to look at wide receiver. T.Y. Hilton, Mecole Hardman, Henry Ruggs, Rager, Russell Gage, Traquan Smith. I mean, upside. If we're talking about upside, I mean, I guess it's Mecole Hardman, right? Mecole Hardman or Henry Ruggs, maybe Traquan Smith. All right, you go with the guy on the better offense, right? Let's go with Mecole Hardman here. We're looking for upside. We're looking for guys that they hit. If he ends up being the third wide receiver in this offense, he gets it together finally. If something happens to Tyreek Hill, he's an absolute beast. And again, you can always cut a guy like Mecole Hardman if he does nothing after 2 weeks and pick up a somebody off of free agency. So we go with Mecole Hardman there. And after that, we see Henry Ruggs, T.Y. Hilton, and then the 12 starts with Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, and now it's back on us. And I'm going to do what I was thinking about last round. We got Pitts, right? And a lot of upside with Pitts, but what if he doesn't hit? So I'm going to take another guy that has a lot of upside and kind of hedge my bet and grab Irv Smith Jr. of the Minnesota Vikings, looking like the third option in this offense. The reports out of camp that he's been super, super successful in red zone drills. So if he gets a lot of touchdowns, then there is a lot of upside there. So we go with Irv Smith to pair with Kyle Pitts. So we have a backup tight end in this draft. So after Irv, we see Matt Ryan, J.D. McKissick, Mike Gesicki, Logan Thomas, Russell Gage, Gerald Everett, Alexander Madison, Evan Engram, and Marlon Mack. And then the 13 starts with Gainwell, Rashad Penny, Darrell Williams, Salvon Ahmed, Kirk Cousins, Gio, Sony Michel, Tua, and Sammy Watkins. And now it's back on us. So one of my picks is not going to be visible to you guys, I think. Or am I only 14 rounds? Actually, yeah, one of my picks is not going to be visible to you guys on the draft board, unfortunately, but whatever. I'll tell you what it is, and we'll go from there. All right, so it is back on us, and we're either looking at a running back or a receiver. I'm not going to draft a back quarterback because I'm very confident in my boy Ryan Tannehill. So what I was kind of thinking about was actually handcuffing David Montgomery with Damien Williams. But I don't think I'm going to do that. No, I'm not. I'm not. Because I can sub in any of Fuller, Jones, Mecole Hardman into my flex spot if need be. I only have to start 2 running backs in this format. So let's look at receiver. We got Reagor, Shepard, Traquan Smith, John Brown, Crowder. I think the guy that sticks out to me with the most upside here is probably Traquan Smith, with Michael Thomas out for like I said, probably like the first 8 weeks of the season. Traquan Smith, at least for the start of the season, should be at least a flex as the number 1 receiving option outside of Alvin Kamara on this team, at least presumably. So getting him here seems like a good option to me. So after Traquan, we see Darrington Evans, Malcolm Brown, John Brown starts the 14th, and Jonnu Smith's right after him, and now it's back on us. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it, dude. Let's do it. Let's handcuff Montgomery with Damien Williams. They also said that he's, I just saw a report come out that he looks good in the receiving game, so maybe he overtakes Tariq Cohen in that role, or if Montgomery gets hurt, he's just like a bell cow. Damien Williams was really good for the Chiefs a couple of years ago. I mean, he's not going to overtake Montgomery without an injury, I don't think, but getting him here to kind of handcuff Montgomery, I don't absolutely hate it. And now it's our last pick, so let's go ahead and look and see what's going on here. Why can't I see this? All right, so I guess I can't see what happened in the 15th round for whatever fucking reason. But after we go Damien Williams, we see Gronk, Cobb, Randall Cobb, Troutman, Baker Mayfield, Benny Snell, Blake Jarwin, Hunter Henry, Fitzpatrick, and Jared Cook round out the 14th. And for whatever reason, I see why, because of this cookies fucking thing. That's why. Okay, sorry. So 15 starts with Quadre Allison, who's apparently running as the RB2 for the Falcons. And I mentioned with Mike Davis before, like, he's not 100% sure thing to be the starter of the whole season. So don't absolutely hate it as like a dart throw at the end. Reagor, Ramondre Stevenson, Trey Lance, good upside pick, Sterling Shepard, Josh Kelly, Justin Jackson, Chuba Hubbard, and Javion Hawkins up to this point in the 15th. Now it is back on us. I don't hate that. I might have looked at Trey Lance there. I might have actually. What's their quarterback? Julio Jones, Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr. Nah, nothing. Justin Fields, but let's see what's at receiver. Crowder, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, Rashad Perriman, Rondell Moore, Jacoby Myers. Upside. Easy. Terrace Marshall Jr. Wrap it up. We got a C. Fuck you, Fantasy Pros. For giving me a C. It's okay. I don't give a shit. So let's look at our team. And like I mentioned from the get-go, this team is built to win your league, right? That's kind of the approach we went here. If our team hits, we win our league. If our team busts, we fucking suck. But whatever. We go with Tannehill at quarterback. Actually, you know what? Let's go through this pick by pick. Let's pull this up here. So we start off our team with Jonathan Taylor in the first, Mixon in the second, Montgomery in the third, starting 3 straight stud running backs, guys that should be stud running backs, heavily involved in their offenses, pairing them with Julio and Cortland Sutton in the 4th and 5th as our wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. Pitts in the 6th, a lot of upside at tight end as the number 2 option, presumably on this Atlanta Falcons team. Tannehill in the 7th, Will Fuller and Marvin Jones, another 2 guys with a lot of upside that could be ones on their team in the 8th and the 9th. A.J. Dillon in the 10th. And again, anything happens to Aaron Jones, he is going to be a near bell cow and should still have week-to-week flex upside. Mecole Hardman in the 11th, Irv Smith in the 12th, Traquan Smith in the 13th, and then Damien Williams and Terrace Marshall to wrap up our drafts. So yeah, man, I mean, this isn't a team I hate. I'm usually a little bit of a safer drafter early on, and then I start taking shots around the 7th or 8th round, or 6th, 7th, 8th round. But if you're into this kind of thing, you like want to just shoot for the fucking moon, then this is a good team. You know what I mean? But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Is this how you draft? Did you draft a little bit safer? Where do you take your first shot on a player? Where do you like kind of go and say, okay, I want to shoot for upside here. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a like, leave a comment like I mentioned, and subscribe to the channel. Help me, help my boy, help us reach our goal of 300 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the fantasy football season. I would really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Check the description below for my socials. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Check out the podcast. If you have Apple, leave a 5-star review, please. I would really appreciate that. It's Fantasize Football. You can find it in the links below. But that's it. That's all there is. Me, my boy, we are out for today. I hope y'all enjoyed. Catch y'all next time. And as always, thank you. Love you. Peace.